Hello, everyone. I'm Sabine and welcome. I will tell you a bit about myself first of all. I'm Belgian, and for many, many years, I was working as a finance manager. And I switched 10 years ago in holistic therapies, mainly energy healing, transpersonal regression, lifestyle coaching, and animal communication. I can say I'm quite psychic since the age of 7 years old, and I would say that's how my journey started. At 7 years old, when my grandfather died, my grandfather on my father's side, I started to see him every night near to my bed. And after that, I realized that I was also capable to hear the thought of my dog, my cats, and even cow in the village, which my mom was not okay with because she was saying animal don't speak. But that's really how my journey with the other world, if I can say like that, has started. Now, how I got there today, here in Dubai, working officially, being an entrepreneur in that field and working with clients on a daily basis, this started exactly in 2012 when I landed in Dubai for a job as a finance manager, which I didn't stay for long. That was the starting point where I really switched to that field. And one day I remember my guide was speaking to me and somehow pushing me a bit, saying like, Sabine, it's time now to embrace your mission. It's time to leave that world. But it was bringing a lot of money and I was not ready to do that. Then it took me a while until I really accepted and embrace my mission and feel okay as a healer. And the first things I've done is placing an ad, I remember, here in Dubai in a small newspaper at that time. And one woman answered directly and said, can you come for my dog? And I proposed at that time to do just energy healing. I didn't mention animal communication. But of course, I started the session and she realized very soon that I was capable to talk with the dog and to understand what the dog was telling me. Then word of mouth, and here we speak about the Arabic phone, that's how we call it. That person spoke about me to others. And then I started to meet a group of people and then another group of people. And I started mainly with animal first. After that, with time, I also realized that, yes, animal is good to work with them, but that was not the solution because most of the time animal were taking the energy of their owner. Then I started to specialize and I follow courses in hypnotherapy, transpersonal regression, theta healing, shamanism, reconnective healing. Oh my God, I cannot name it. They have so much because I wanted to help also the owner. And that's how I started my journey on the second part with the people, mainly the owner of the animal, making them also understand that they need to fix themselves if they want to fix the animal, because the animal has the tendency to absorb our energy. If we are only light and love, they will absorb light and love. But if we are full of crap, sorry to say that way, that's what they will absorb, because mainly also they are healer. And because they are being of unconditional love, they're also ready to sacrifice themselves to help us. Let's say I have a headache on constant, I would say, constant time. I have a headache or I have a huge migraine. I have a dog or a cat. My animal will absorb that energy and mainly will start to absorb the energy that I'm not able to cope with. Then that's how they can become sick. And I had to explain slowly to the people how it works. And that's how I started to work with human being and animal. Later on, I think it was in 2014, something like that, I started to write my first manual in animal communication and I started to teach my first level, the beginner animal communication, which attracted 7 people at that time. I was so glad, so happy, so excited, because in the United Arab Emirates, especially here in Dubai, 10 years ago, doing a workshop about animal communication, people would be like, what the heck is going on here? What is that BS? But yes, 7 people, and then people started to speak more about this. I started to get more clients, and then on and on. Few years later, because it took me 4 years to write 4 levels of animal communication, I finally finished that stage and started to attract more people to help them to understand the animal. Some became animal communicator on the professional level, and today I would say they are practicing. Mainly, that's how I got there, and that's how I started to practice here in Dubai. And today, I would say I also work with many horses and teach the owner how to sense the horse, because it's working on the opposite way very well. But for the owner, it's always difficult to understand the animal. And this, I think, is something new for many, many human beings. Being able to feel the animal inside their skin, inside their body, being able to sense them. This is very new. And I hope in 10 years, and I say I hope, that's not really true, because somehow inside me I know in 10 years the world will be different, and people will be able to reach that stage where they can really communicate with the animal on a different level, and they can sense them. Yeah. That's my story, mainly, how I got there. What I would like to focus on today is the relationship between people and animal, especially in the terms of animal communication. Animal communication, for those of you who don't know what we speak about, it's not about behavior. It's not about training, because very often I have people confusing that, or telling me, I'm talking already to my dog and my dog is talking to me. Here we speak mainly about intuitive communication, and even more deeper, because that's what I do, is pure telepathic communication. And of course, everyone can learn that. I want to specify, you are born with this. It's not a gift. Many people still believe that you are like a sort of a witch or magician or whatever when you do that stuff. No, telepathy is an ability that everyone is born with, but because we don't practice and we speak that language, we use our tongue, we use the verbal language, it became like a rusty muscle, if I can say like that. Then you just need to train yourself. And telling you how you can communicate with your animal, how long time it will take, etc., without especially becoming an animal communicator or doing on the professional level. You can learn that just to speak with your dog, with your cat, with your family animal. It's just about practice. It's like gym. Don't tell me I want a 6-pack and I don't want to train, or don't tell me I want a 6-pack in 3 months. That's not possible. It's the same with animal communication. Much more you train, more results you get, and easier it's become. I think this was very important to mention for each and everyone, because I'm sure in the future everyone will speak with the animal, mind to mind. You can call it also mind to mind communication, heart to heart communication, or intuitive communication with your animal, or telepathic communication with your animal. This is animal communication. And I would like to enter into a subject. When I spoke about the relationship between people and animal, I had cases recently with competition horses, especially horse jumping, a very high level. As you know, I'm into UAE, and here horses are like gods on some level, and I will not enter in detail. They still have people who are doing competition and love the animal. It's about being awakened enough to understand what the animal wants. And it's also about being sensitive enough. And we are getting there slowly. And I think that field needs a lot of education, and it's coming. When I say education, is because people don't know yet how animals are sensitive. They know, yes, they are sensitive, but on a certain level. When I say sensitive, it's that they are able to feel you. But most of the time, because they absorb your energy, they become your mirror, they become you. And the case I had recently is with someone who just bought a horse, and unfortunately, the horse stopped to jump. He's arriving as an obstacle and frozen, finished, end of story. And you can try whatever you want, it doesn't work. Of course, around my client, many people were saying, oh, that horse is not for you, you need to return it back and buy another horse, and la 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 la. That person was intuitive enough and finally contacted me and asked me to see, listen, what can I do? Tell me. Then I had a conversation with the horse, and the horse said directly, I like you, and I'm happy to be with you. The owner looked at me and said, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, that's what your horse is telling me. The client said, listen, that horse arrived just recently. It has been imported from another country. It was for sales. And the person started the story. And the person said, I'm very surprised because he's not really showing me. And I have a problem with him during the competition. And it's a shame because I have the pressure and people look at me because that horse is a very famous horse. Then imagine the pressure that the client has. And then we entered in a deep conversation where finally, and that's the beauty of the story. This is why I wanted to speak about that today. Finally, my client was like, oh my God, I was far away to realize that, because the horse entered into a deep conversation saying to him, please be patient, give me more time. You need to feel me, because when you ride me, when we enter into the competition, you are very tense. You are highly stressed. And also your behavior change. Then I'm absorbing everything, but obstacle after obstacle, it's higher and higher, of course, because they start by lower and then they go very high. And that horse is capable to go more than 100 meters and a half, which is quite high. And for him, it's like when he was with the previous owner. But with my client, doesn't work. When we arrive at 120, they're finished, end of story. Then I explained to my client, listen now, this is a learning for you. That horse came in your life for a very specific purpose. And that's what the horse said, because my client explained to me also, and this is a very funny moment, because he bought two horses in reality, not only one. That one, who is the famous one, let's say like this, and another one who has just a little bit of level under. The horse just got an injury before the competition. Then he said, imagine my pressure I had, because I had only one horse. Then I had no choice. I must ride him, but he is very stubborn. He doesn't want to jump. He doesn't want this, la, 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 la. This was the beginning of the session. And then I asked the horse, and the horse said, yes, because it had to be me. But like this, it had to be me. I'm like, okay. Then we entered even deeper in the conversation, and he said, when you will be capable to manage your stress, I will not be frozen, because I will not take it anymore. He says, I came in your life because you need to learn to feel more forces on a deeper level. And for you, it will be a new level, like never. you have felt, never you have seen. We will be able to become, and he was showing me an image of becoming like this, becoming one. And the horse was showing me, I didn't say that directly to the client because at the beginning of the session, he was not ready to hear that. I said a little bit later, but that horse showed me images in the future where they are jumping very high, like he was doing with the previous owner, and they are synchronized. The owner is able to feel what the horse is feeling and is able to communicate with his horse. And we go like into a symphony, which is not existing today. And he was telling me also, yes, but what you are telling me doesn't make sense because I had other horses before. Okay, they were not jumping that level. This is why I bought him, because I want to go higher in the competition. But it was easy. And they didn't froze. Nothing was happening in this way. And you tell them, turn left, they turn left, turn right, turn right. They just listen. And then the horse said, yes, but I've been born to be a champion. And I've been educated to be a bit stubborn, to go to the level where I am. You want to compete with me? They have something that you need to do is managing your stress, even when the environment is really, really stressful, even when it's the most difficult situation, because competition is stressful for the person who is riding a horse. But he said, I will help you, but you need also to help me, because I came in your life for a very specific reason, to develop a relationship like never you had with any horses. And then I'm passing many other details because that session went over 1 hour. We arrived at 1 hour and a half, finally. And I remember at the end, the owner said, can you ask my horse if he is happy when I'm walking him, just walking like a dog, let's say like that. And the horse answered, yes, I'm happy, but if you are happy. And then the owner said, I don't understand, this is making no sense, you know. And then that horse entered deeper and said, listen, when you walk me, you just walk me like you walk a dog, but at the same time, you are not there. Your body is there. You have, let's say, not the leash, but he gave the example of a dog. It was really funny at that moment. Said, you walk me, but you are not there. Just your body is here. Your mind is left, right, behind, yesterday, tomorrow, after tomorrow. He says, then I'm getting bored. If you walk me like this, he says, no way. You ask me if I'm happy to be walked with you. Yes, I'm happy, but only if you have a discussion with me. Then the owner asked, he said, how can I speak with him? Said, for the moment, you speak with him like I'm speaking with you, because he can read your mind. But you really have to learn how to be present and to enter in him to get a real symphony. That session was quite amazing in a way that the big learning was you have to change the way how you think. You have to change the belief you have about animals since many years, because that client is riding horses. I cannot tell you, it's like all his life. You get the point. And never he had this trouble. And all of a sudden, that one is entering in his life to give him that message. But what I saw, what the horse was showing me as images regarding the future, they will be in symphony. They will be together in the future. They will understand them on a very, very deep level. Meaning when the horse will not be fine, he will be able to make the owner sense it, even if the owner cannot get a telepathic communication directly. This was really the beauty of that session, because you know, that's not the first time I have cases like that. I had jumper on different level because horse jumping is very famous here, including horse racing, but mainly jumping. I had many people who had that issue where the horse is just frozen before the obstacle. It's not always the same case where the owner is so stressed, the owner is so tense, and the horse has taken too much, and now the horse cannot cope with. It's like a child who has a response, freeze or fly, you know. But I had also a situation where the horse had an injuries before, and memories were coming back just before some obstacle, or the way how the owner was leading the horse was, I remember I had that with a mare who was saying, if you take me from one side, I will be okay. But if you go on the other side, I'm feeling already very stiff because of that injuries. And all the images from the last accident, because it was quite deep, are coming back to me. And I'm like, well, no, I can't do that. You know, it's not always due to the energy of the owner that the horse will be frozen. But most of the time, I will not give a percentage because I don't have a percentage, but most of the time, animal will absorb our energy until it's full. Let's say like that. I'm making the story very short, otherwise I can write a book with you today. That's not the point. But most of the time, animal have the tendency to absorb everything, good and bad, from us. They are already in synchrony with us. That's what we are not with them. And like I said before, because they are ready to sacrifice themselves and they are here for a big mission, which is first a healing mission, especially for horses, also education level, because when you observe animal, you can learn a lot. They are much more elevated spiritually than us. Just to say here, what is the message today for us as human? We really need to work on ourselves, change our perception about the animal world, including insect, because I had myself a surprise recently. I still had the habit sometimes to kill some, how we call it, it's not the bee, that's the other one, the wasp, because I still had a trauma from childhood. I was always running away when they have a wasp coming. I don't know if I pronounce well, but I'm sure you get what I mean. And recently I killed one. And when I say that I'm still feeling emotional, after it was like automatic pilot, within a second, I saw an image. Believe me, this is not a joke. It seems very crazy because it's an insect and we are more tuned to dogs, cat, dolphin, horses, iguana, lion, blah, blah, blah. But even in the insect world, I've been shocked. The image came to me for the very first time in my life. Well, I'm not killing wasp all the time. Maybe I killed 2 or 3 in my life, something like that. In general, I'm the one who ran away. I would not kill it. But that time, I don't know what happened. Fraction of a second, done, finished. I killed it. And the image that came to me was the eyes of that insect. The image became bigger, like the size of a dog, a big dog, you know, but it's not a dog, of course, but I mean, imagine a German Shepherd size, okay? That wasp face became big, and I received like that, and I'm like, oh, wow, but no aggression, really no aggression. It was like, not even a disappointment, was a form of sadness, but I cannot say sadness like on the human level. It's a bit different what I felt, but I felt guilty. And then after that, I felt really like shit, believe me, for maybe less than 1 hour, I cried because that insect was telling me, why? Why? I didn't want to attack you. I would do nothing. And at that moment, I realized, oh, what the heck have you done? Even today, I'm speaking about this. I feel here inside something happening. I'm very emotional. Because I will not cry, but I mean, yeah, it seems stupid with a wasp. It's like, yeah, anyway. yeah, I'm emotional now. Just to tell you, when you arrive at a certain stage and you can enter in synchrony with animal, you are able to change the world. Oh, me alone, I can't do anything. But if everyone is able to arrive to that stage, even with that wasp, it was a weird communication because I've made a mistake and okay, it's too late, it's done. I will not go again and again and again. But you see, I'm speaking about this, I'm still feeling guilty and I still feel the emotion. And I ask for forgiveness. I'm not telling you how many times, to God, to the Galactic Federation, to everyone. Then just to close the chapter now, I just want to tell you, please work on your belief system, develop yourself in a way that you start to communicate with the animal kingdom, with also the insect kingdom, because we are the one who can change the world by our way of thinking, the way how we behave with them, and the way how we treat them. But when I say treat them, I'm not speaking on the physical level, because many people are still judging animals, talking bad about them or making gossip, and they feel that, they know, and it's hurting them. Thank you for listening. Now, I would like to give you some information about me in a way how you can join me. My website is www.sabinetherapies with S at the end, like therapy, but therapies plural.com. I have also a Facebook page and Instagram account. You will find them by going on my homepage on my website. Thank you for listening, and bye-bye.